to episode 14 of the Falls on Hill podcast. I'm your host, Cal, and I'm joined as ever by Yanni and Liam. How are we, boys?
Hi,
Groovy.
Groovy, baby.
Groovy, baby. How have our weeks been?
Okay. Long.
Any difference to normal?
I've been on late shift, so the days have felt never-ending, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
my days felt quite normal, really. Just boring.
Yeah.
Very boring.
Very boring.
Very boring. How's yours?
Wow.
How's your week been, Callum?
Yeah, not bad. It's been quite quiet. Getting towards the business end of my year in uni, so I have to actually start doing work now, which is pretty bummer. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks for listening.
14, 14, 1, 4.
1, 4.
Do you know some fact about number 14?
Go on.
Go on.
It's 2 times 7. It's double 7. It's a half of 28.
Wow.
Are you sure?
It is,
Have you checked that though?
It's the first 2 digits after the decimal for pi. If you want to know the other 19, I know them too. For some reason.
Not today.
Maybe next time.
Right.
I'll do a pi. We'll do a
I
pi
reckon for the next 19 episodes, you just say one of the numbers
special. Okay.
randomly.
Yeah.
And then we can.
I mean, I just pick any number. That'd be pretty tricky, wouldn't it?
The pie compilation of LG.
Yeah, make a new segment and make a little jingle for that.
God, that would be a story, wouldn't it, to tell people if we did that. Speaking of stories, what's the
most important bit of news this week? Everybody, of course, the thing we were worried about the most.
After that cliffhanger we left it on last week.
We had people worrying last week. Lady Gaga's dogs have been found.
Praise
they are
be
alive.
to God.
They're
what
safe.
about the dog walker? Are they okay?
I think they're surviving. Yeah, yeah. I think they've been expected to have a full recovery. Thankfully.
Yeah. Plodding along.
I hope Lady Gaga's okay. But she's glad she didn't have to fork out $500,000 or whatever she offered. Was it that much? Yeah.
Yeah.
50.
No,
50K,
$500,000.
Was it?
Yeah.
Jeez, money's nothing to these people.
I don't know if
last week
did
you
she
both
pay
said
for it
that she could have paid more.
Yeah,
I mean, she could have for who she is, but that's still like just
Pocket change.
for some dogs.
It's crazy. Do we know? Did she end up paying that ransom, or did they find? Do we know any
I
more
don't
about the
know.
story?
I did a really in-depth Google search about 2 minutes before I came on Zoom, and it said that they were handed into the local police. So I presume
What was the point? Who did that?
a big
Shot that
facade
poor
about nothing.
person. Ridiculous.
Someone's been
I like to
shot.
think they
for no
walked
good
themselves in to the police station.
Dogs.
Come on, we gotta go. It's about time we went back now.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that the dogs are safe, and possibly also the dog walker.
Yes,
It's very good news.
been a rough time.
Talking of rough times,
Jesus
Callum,
Christ.
tell us about this next one. This is affecting you, is it? Or-
This is affecting me. Yes.
Of course it is.
Blossoms, their tour has been postponed until August/September. I've got tickets for the Manchester gig, obviously. It's now a Saturday night, so
When was it meant to be?
I don't know. I think it might have been a Thursday. I don't know.
No, I mean like. when-
Originally, like March last year.
Okay.
Last
Yeah,
year.
so it's been a while. Yeah. They actually had to cancel halfway through their tour because of COVID. So
That's
got it for them.
upsetting.
yeah, pretty much a bummer.
And
But-
had you been to see them before they cancelled? Because I'm sure you bought 12 tickets.
I don't actually think I did on the tour, but I did for the album launch.
Of course.
Virtual, wasn't it?
Yeah, they did that as well, but the actual
Alright.
album launch was in Manchester, and I think I went to Liverpool as well. I can't remember at this point. It all
Wait,
melted
did we
together.
go?
I think we did.
Oh yeah, it was me and you. Okay.
So yeah, now I can go to 42s or venue or something on the Saturday. So happy days. It's worked out quite well on it.
There you go.
I'm
There
definitely
you
too
go.
old for 42s now, though.
Definitely. No, you can go until you're 42. That's the point, isn't it? That's the whole thing.
fair point. Now, talking of postponements, from something that affected me to something that has deeply affected you two. Tell me about
Yes.
it, boys.
Deeply. Well, I think me and Liam are both extremely worried that the lineup may change. And first of all, Primavera Sound postponed to 2022.
Yep.
I'm glad because it was extremely tight.
Yes.
And I hadn't. Well, we didn't book anything for obvious
No.
reasons, so it would have been hella expensive to last minute try and find accommodation and shit like that and flights. But postponed to 2022. They'll find out the lineup on the 5th of June or
June
something?
2nd, I think. I think that's when
okay.
it was supposed to start on the 2nd or something like that.
Right, so when it was meant to actually happen this year, it's been postponed twice now.
Yeah, they're sticking to their dates of the beginning of June, I guess, and they've just pushed back a year at a time.
I mean, with the way things are going, we should be okay as a country by then, hopefully.
You've got a lot of faith in the Tory party there.
An awful lot of faith.
Optimism.
I'm getting my vaccine tomorrow, so.
Oh yeah.
First one, I got a text today.
Wow.
Oh, well done.
Thanks.
I don't know. I'm saying
I
well done.
didn't
Fuck
win
all.
anything. I didn't enter
Didn't
any
realise.
competitions.
Didn't realise you were over 50.
Well, it's because you're diabetic.
Yeah,
isn't it?
because I've got other problems. I've got
You've
issues.
got an issue. I wonder if I'll get one for being colourblind.
I'm also. But yes, hopefully this will be going ahead next year. They're still calling it because it was Primavera's 20th anniversary in 2020, and they're still calling it a 20th anniversary celebration, which gives me hope that Pavement will stay on the lineup as it was their 30th year anniversary, their 30th year celebration. So hopefully they kind of stick together on that and stay on the lineup, and so does every other great band that's on it.
Yeah.
Which are a lot.
Tame Impala, I really want the Strokes.
Yeah.
Tyler.
If those three.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tyler. I forgot about Tyler. Okay, those four then.
I was looking for
Are
the
definitely
dates.
going to be there. Then
So good.
I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Gorillas are on
hopefully,
there.
hopefully I'll be able to
Shit.
get a ticket. Maybe.
Yeah, well, that's something I wanted to bring up to the listeners of this podcast. You must now hound Cal to make sure he buys a ticket in time for 2022. He doesn't know what he'll be doing.
Don't
You
know
don't
where I'll
care.
be.
You can book it off.
He'll be in Barcelona in
fuck it.
June.
Don't worry.
That's for sure. So hound him, please.
Nothing to worry about. Get tickets. On the flip side, we have a festival. Would you call it a festival? I guess so. That is
Yeah.
going ahead.
Well, I wouldn't call it anything else.
Well, I don't even know what it is, if I'm honest. This
I'll take it.
September, Neighbourhood Weekender. Go on, Colin.
Well, you kind of covered it all there. I went to the first neighbourhood weekender 3 years ago now. It was very good. Second year I worked there on the bar because the ticket had gone, well, ticket prices had just seemed to have gone stupid. And the third year it has turned into Radio X's Wet Dream. Every like indie, just every.
Jerry
Radio
Cinnamon is headlining.
Jerry
is that
Cinnamon
right?
is headlining the Friday.
Oh my!
Yeah. I saw that.
God.
I saw this lineup earlier. I didn't realise it's the same one, but I did see it earlier.
Yeah. So, Karis and I looked at the lineup the other day, and there's probably about 4 or 5 bands that I'm asked about. Sports Team are there, Inhaler are there, Mars Kane, Reverend and the Makers, Sam Fender, I think. But overall, it's
So
just
the people that are always there are going to be there.
basically, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Some people will love that lineup. Like that is
Oh god,
like,
yeah, it's a
so
dark
good for some
dark
people.
fruits and bucket hat.
Yeah. The 42 gang.
Reverend the Makers are
essentially.
there.
Reverend and the Makers are sound. There's an echo in this
Yeah.
podcast, by the way.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you said they were there. The Wombats. Oh, then good new stuff's not great. There's a lot of good bands of their time.
Oh,
On
yesteryear, yeah.
Yeah, like Pigeon,
Pigeon
Detectives
Detectives.
are
Are they there? Yeah. Oh, that was weird.
They are. There's a few others, I guess, and then there's quite a few of the dark fruit variety. Enjoy yourself if you go. If it's still going ahead, September.
It is a great festival based on my 2 experiences there, but like the lineup is just very lackluster.
Where is it, Cal? Where does it
Warrington,
reside?
and there's
Warrington.
always train strikes, and it's just a pain in the arse. So,
Great.
get a hotel
get the train.
or don't drink.
Drive.
Yeah.
Fun. So
Next.
that's all the festival news
Well,
for this year.
It is. Now we're going to talk about rinsing people of the money. Anyone else want to take over this?
The
John
ultimate
Lennon thing?
mixes. Wasn't the last one the ultimate mixes?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
They're all
I'm sure it was.
ultimate mixes. Ultimately,
Brilliant.
Plastic Ono Band. Reissue to be released April 16th. Released or will be releasing on CD, deluxe CD, super deluxe CD, box set, and vinyl.
50 quid for the vinyl, just so we know.
oh, are we talking like
Anything
double LP
special
or?
about it?
I think it's probably a double LP. There was a really nice War Is Over poster, you know, like just the. But you can get them on Etsy for like 9 quid. So, you know, don't let that sway your decision on buying the vinyl.
Yeah, I think I'll give that a miss.
Based on my
Nice.
experiences with Give Peace a Chance and how poorly it was pressed, I'm not going to go anywhere near this. So, sorry, John.
I was just looking at the track listing on this one. It's
It'll
actually
be fuming.
it's actually pretty good, isn't it? It's a pretty good album.
Yeah, it's
it
a
is.
decent album, but
It's got some good tracks.
I'd be more interested in getting like an original one than
At this point,
reissue.
yeah.
same. That's why I hold off getting any Beatles ones, because I want to get like originals.
Yeah, I feel like I'd rather
Um,
spend 50 quid on an original
Mm.
than a reissue. Because, well, obviously a reissue should be, unlike in Calm's case, should be better to listen to,
Yeah.
I guess. But you also want the, you know,
Collectability.
the originality.
Yeah.
Is that
Words.
the right word? Is that the right
I've
word?
got quite a lot of
Originals.
the reissues of the Beatles, but I think I'm going to go back and try and get a few originals as well, especially Revolver. But that's going to be, they're just going to be well expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, they're always knocking about in Probe
I
on the
got
walls, really high up. Yeah.
I got Abbey Road and the Abbey Road and the White Album in Rill, in like this comic book shop that's by the.
Yeah.
That I never
Do
knew
they
was
do
there.
records
They
in
sell
there?
records. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. This was years ago. Then when this was.
Oh, fucking hell. I never knew that.
I
think I
found.
I got 2 for 15. Both of them 15 quid, and they're pretty like. They're not originals. Obviously, the White Album's originals are mad, but they're pretty
I
old.
found Mother's Milk, Red Hot Chili Peppers, like original record in there.
Bloody hell.
That's cool.
I've been in there loads and never knew they did records.
You're not looking.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Not looking hard enough.
now we've got releases.
So modern music.
like new stuff. Yeah.
The first
Uh,
one was an announcement from last week, but I thought we'd put it in because the song was released this week. So
Okay.
Okay.
St. Vincent album Daddy's Home, out May 14th. Yeah, we are going to cover a track later on. Next one, we've got James, All the Colours of You, which is out the 4th of June. Is there a reason why this is in brackets?
I just thought
meant to know
well,
who
it's
this is.
produced by Jack Knifley, and I thought that might have been quite interesting. I don't
Who is
know.
that?
Who's
Colin?
that?
Well, Jack Knifley did the really good remix of "Reason Is Treason" by Kasabian. You know, like the one that isn't on the album, that was the single. That's really good.
I don't
Okay.
know that. No. Is it better than the
Oh.
original?
Oh, much better. It's well, like heavier and
Mm.
faster. It's great. Well, pointless bit of information there, but if you're interested, then produced by Jack Knifley.
And the last bit of release news, Japanese Breakfast, which will also be covering a track off their album Jubilee, announced to be released June the 4th as well.
Mm.
June the 4th be with you.
Yes, that famous
That's
saying.
exactly what it is, yeah.
It is. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of a little bit toasty right now.
It is starting to
Um,
warm up a little bit. I can feel a bit of heat.
Oh, heat.
Coming
That's a very good
from
word.
coming from the press.
Would you say it's hot off the press?
Oh, I would, yeah. Callum!
Hiya.
Callum! Talk about this heat.
Now?
Talk about the heat radiating from your ear holes this week. It's not how listening works, but you know what I mean.
Well, I'd like to say my week has been carnage, boys.
We're doing this again, are we?
Specifically from Nick Cave and Warren
Right.
Ellis. Or Nick Ellis and Warren Cave, if you were here last week.
That's the correct way, yeah.
The email was
This-
about that. That was the right way of doing it.
It's important to say from the get-go that this isn't a Bad Seeds album. Good start. A Bad Seeds album. It was recorded in lockdown, and Nick Cave said that the Bad Seeds are from all around the world, so it was just a Nick Cave and Warren Ellis collaboration. Lately, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds have been releasing very somber albums, obviously due to the death of Cave's child. They've been exploring very bleak lyricism and musicality and all that jazz. But on this album, there are instances of the heavier sides to the Bad Seeds, which I love in their discography. Hand of God and White Elephant are instantly two of my favourite tracks off the album. They're definitely now part of my favourite Nick Cave tunes of all time. Slight spoiler, I considered giving the album a 5 out of 5 purely for these two songs. But
Wow.
in hindsight, I've decided that's not a very clever way of reviewing things because that's just stupid. I think it is a great album, but I'm still longing for Nick Cave to do something heavier again. I've spoke till the cows come home about the Austin City Limits performances of like Jubilee Street and all that, which are newer songs, and they can be performed heavier. But I don't know, on studio albums, it's just kind of lacked something for me lately. They've all been beautiful songs and everything, but just I don't know. I just want the Bad Seeds to, be bad again. You know what I mean? You know what I
I'll
mean?
be bad for you, Cal. If you want.
Thanks, mate.
So
And
naughty.
CD.
But yeah,
Oh,
there
let's
are
see.
elements in this album that sound to me like the heavier side is still there to them, and it's just waiting to be unlocked. Hopefully, in a Bad Seeds album in the near future, or a Grindman one, which would be even better. Overall, there's great poetry in the lyrics as always. It's nice to hear Cave singing a bit more rather than just doing solely spoken word, which seems to be kind of what he's done lately. And overall, it's a much more compelling full release than previous stuff, with some very high highs, and I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Ooh.
That is unheard of.
I mean, it's not that unheard of. Sounds like a pretty solid review, Colin.
Thank you. Did you listen to it?
Did I listen to it? I listened to, I'd say, I didn't get to, I think I listened to
No,
like 3
you
songs
didn't.
because those songs seem to last forever.
Yeah.
That's been an awful long time. I think with this kind of, you said yourself somber music style, which I think even though this one seemed less somber than the live one that we covered, obviously
Mhm.
it's just by nature. I think that these kind of somber musicians, if you will, are very kind of person to person, I guess. I know that if I think of like Silver Jews or like Leonard Cohen, something like that, I feel like they often don't translate to other people as well as they do to you in a certain way.
Yeah,
And I
I kind
think
of get that. I don't
Nick Cave
think...
does.
I definitely don't think this is an entry point into Nick Cave
Mhm.
at all. I think because I've kind of already got an affinity with his music,
Yep.
I've got a head start in this sort of stuff because I kind of knew what to expect. But yeah, I mean, if there was aspects to it that you liked, I could make you a little mixtape. But don't know.
Throw me together a mixtape if you want, Cal.
Okay.
I liked Red Right Hand. I've never really listened to anything that's heavier, but that side of it seems pretty cool. But yeah, this was it's just not. I get it, but I didn't really enjoy it much, to be honest.
Fair enough. Yanni?
I didn't enjoy it that much, but yeah, unless you're madly in love with Nick Cave, you have to be kind of in a mood for this type of stuff, and I wasn't in that frame of mind to be enjoying this.
Yeah.
The musical aspects of it were beautiful. I know they've done lots of soundtracks together, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
And the music did sound very soundtrack-y. Bad way of putting it. And I hear that, yeah. Go on. What?
Like a score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. It was. Yeah. The music was very score-ish, soundtracky, words that don't exist. But yeah, I wasn't in the right frame of mind to be listening to this, so it didn't really sit well with me.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't think I'd put the whole album on very much, but definitely Hand of God and White Elephant will be songs that I play throughout the year.
It was quite heavy,
Very
quite
nice.
a lot. But yeah, those are my thoughts. 4 out of 5, not bad.
Yeah, fair enough.
What will Mr. Godfrey have his? We'll sit and wonder, won't we?
Mr.
We'll sit and
Godfrey.
wonder.
Well, you'll get to the answer soon enough, boys. Because here we go. This week, I listened to Julian Baker's Little Oblivions. I'm going to start off with echoing what Yanni just said about Carnage, which was, I don't think this was the right album for this week, if I'm honest. Julian Baker, I guess, is best known for her work in the trio Boy Genius with Lucy Dacus and Phoebe Bridgers. I haven't really listened to their music much at all. I've listened to quite a bit of Phoebe Bridgers. I think the comparisons are very fair here with Julian's and Phoebe's music. In the sense, if you like Phoebe, you should give this a go, I guess. But it's not the same, I guess. I enjoyed the album. It's very kind of, a lot of it's very slow. Her voice is very beautiful. Musically, sometimes it doesn't really go anywhere, which was a bit of a shame on some of the tracks. There were some elements in some songs that I really liked, like in Hardline, the first track. The singles probably stand out to me the most, probably Hardline and Favour. I like The Crying Wolf as well. There's a few, but overall the album itself, as a full album, didn't really go enough places for me. I think she's a very talented songwriter. In terms of music, the lyrics I haven't paid much attention to, which is my own fault. But I haven't. But yeah, I liked it overall, the music. As I say, this wasn't the right week for this album. I needed something more upbeat to keep me going through the week. I've listened to it quite a lot, so I know that I like it, and I know what score I'm going to give it. But for more of a deeper dive, I'm sorry, I can't give much more than that. And that's where I'm going to finish.
We'll link the Needle Drops video if you want a more deeper dive.
Yeah. My score for that is a 3 out of 5.
Who saw that one coming?
Who sure? But yeah, have you two listen to it at all?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think?
I don't know. I thought there was parts of it that were more interesting than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
But because they were very few and far between, it kind of made the album seem worse to me than if it was just very generic, if that makes sense, because the potential was there for it to do exciting things, but it just seemed to just, be like, flirt with the idea of doing it, be like, oh, I can do this, but I'm not going to. Yeah,
there was the odd like guitar tone or vocal melody or chord progression or something that was really interesting, but they were too few and far between, for sure.
Hardline was definitely my favourite off the album, and as that was the opening track of the album, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to really enjoy this.
Yeah.
And it was just very unmemorable. Don't know if that's a word.
I guess that is a word, maybe.
Yeah. I wish it knelt into the heavier and more emotional aspects, but it didn't. So yeah, it was decent. If it was my album, I'd have given it a 3 out of 5 as well. There was one song in particular that I actually thought it was Phoebe Bridgers singing, which was strange because I didn't think that for any others. But there was one, I can't remember the name of it, but it was literally carbon copy.
There were a few moments where like that was a lot more clear, I guess, the comparison between their music. I wasn't expecting it to. I didn't go into this thinking this was going to be like Phoebe because they've worked together or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that Boy Genius. I can kind of see what Boy Genius probably is now without. Considering these two are so similar, it's probably just the same thing again. I guess I don't really know what else they have, unless Lucy Dacus brings something very different. I've never really listened to her stuff, but I missed off the song Heatwave. Sorry, I just realised that's the one with kind of a nice guitar line in it. But yeah, Yanni, did you listen to it?
Not properly. No, I skimmed through, but nothing really grabbed my attention. So I wouldn't even really hold back to it unless. You did, like you say, when it's a better time to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think I'd really go back to this. Why are you smirking?
Just before we get into Yanni's album, there is a bit of news that I missed from 2 hours ago.
Okay.
Now, I normally wouldn't do this. I'd just say it next week. However, I want your live reactions.
Okay.
Okay.
Next week, there is a song coming. Now, Liam, if I was to ask you,
I don't like this.
who your nightmare collaboration would be? Yanni, same question to you, but I'll come to you afterwards. So get.
Are we talking about any specific genre or?
So it's kind of like.
Is it pop?
It kind of pop, yeah, but guitar music and a rapper. We'll go with that.
Oh, okay.
Just give me 2 names. And I can absolutely guarantee it will not be as bad as the actual news.
So I'm going to say a rapper I don't like. I'm going to say like one of those generic ones like Lil Yachty or something.
Okay,
one of those mumble
Lil
rappers.
Yachty and who?
And I'm going to go with, just because you mentioned them earlier and I'm not into them, DMAs.
Okay, how random.
That's just the only one I can think of. One of those generic landfill
I would have said
indie bands.
MGK.
MGK, okay.
I don't mind his. He did some alright stuff.
Or Youngblood.
Oh yeah, okay. He's a rapper, I guess.
Am I right with Youngblood?
You are correct with Youngblood. And,
okay.
And the rapper is KSI.
I was.
Oh fuck right.
I was thinking KSI, but I didn't think he would be the worst. But I did on KSI cross my mind for a second.
And someone called Polo G, who I have no idea who that is.
That's all.
So yeah, we'll be listening to that next week.
No, I won't be. I'm taking next week off.
I think we should have a single spotlight for how much you two are gonna hate this.
While we're mentioning new things as well, because we forgot, new Drake tomorrow apparently.
Oh,
okay.
So
that would have been something I'd avoid if we weren't doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'll be listening to that. I don't mind Drake every now and then.
Yanni.
Liam, hello.
I want to know your thoughts on your album this week.
Okay. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. With the album LW, which I can only assume stands for Liam's Willie.
It does, yeah.
Yeah?
No, that's true, yeah, that's true.
Okay. This is, I'm going to call it part 2, surely, to the KG.
Yep.
Not Kyle Gass. Record they released earlier on. Was it this year or was it last year? I can't even remember.
Last year.
It was the end of November, I think.
Oh, right. Wow, okay. God, they're really leaving a long space of time between these releases, aren't they?
So long, it's ridiculous.
God. Yeah, I had since this. Again, microtonal, you know what to expect. I'm not going to go into the band because you've heard all our thoughts previously. So, track by track, the first 3 are singles, aren't they? They've been released prior.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Plura, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce it, was released on the day of the album being out as well, wasn't it? Or the day before or something like that?
Day before, I think, yeah.
Day before, okay. But yeah, If Not Now Then When, the opener. I can't really remember what I said about these other ones because I think I was still kind of fed up with the KG release at the time that
You didn't like that
asked about
first
these
one.
ones.
You didn't like the first one.
Right. I thought, well, that's carried through. Becomes annoying after a while, and it's not even a long song.
It's a good start.
So that's a really good start, King. 1, ONE, groovy, and does more interesting things with the microtonal aspects. Love when everything drops out. There's a part where it's just a guitar riff, and that is a big fat chef's hug. I did enjoy that thoroughly, and I think I might have said I enjoyed that one more than the other things, if I remember correctly when we covered it. If not, well, who cares? The third song, Plura, is that how you pronounce it? And I think I mentioned this last week, or the week before, whenever it was. No, last week, obviously. I like that. In the album, I don't know, I felt like maybe it was kind of like one of the weaker ones, maybe. Didn't really enjoy it as much. A lot of these songs I've said I could do with them being like a minute shorter. I know their kind of thing is that it's meant to be sort of hypnotic, repetitive, and stuff like that. But this one, yeah, it could do with a minute shorter. But and I was kind of annoyed by the next one because it could have been a lot better. So I got it was Supreme Ascendancy. I thought liked everything but the rhythm. The drum pattern was just too much. So all the other instruments, but the drums, the pattern they've chosen for the drum beat was just too erratic, too busy. I would have preferred it if it was more like a straightforward pattern. It would have, to me, come across better, but
To you.
that's not the type of band they are. So, thank you,
Got two
Carl.
drummers.
Yes, I do know that. Thanks, Liam. Yeah.
Just jumping in.
Yeah, I didn't like how busy the drums were in that song. It really ruined it for me. Could have been a lot better had it have been a more straightforward drum pattern. And then I grouped together Static, Electricity, and East-West Link because they didn't do anything for me. Just they were your typical microtonal stuff, apart from they were acoustic. But yeah, I mean, nothing there. Ataraxia was, again, I just put was just too long for me. Thanks, Liam. Liam needs a wee, everyone, if you're listening to
That's the
me at
reason
this
why I
point in
wrote
the
it
podcast.
down, so you didn't.
And that's the reason why I said it out loud.
Thanks.
So I'll really drag this part out. See me was the same again, just very. I know what I'm gonna get with these microtonal albums now that they're doing, but then they went and did a reworked version of KGLW, which incorporates bits from the song of the same name from the KG album. Apart from there's a lot more Sabbath vibes and stoner rock vibes.
So stoner.
Which was very cool. A very good change of pace. There was I think it was like not halfway point, 'cause it's a long song. Maybe like 2/3 in, where there's like a knock at the door. And I was listening to this like late at night, and that shit me up, I'm not gonna lie. Because I thought someone was knocking on my flat door, but it was just a song. But yeah, again, that one went on for a bit too long for me. Also, I like the initial ideas, but I'm not a fan of just it constantly being so repetitive. So I don't want to be harsh because, again, I did like the initial ideas. It was just if I was listening to it, I'd just skip it at the point where I've had enough.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. But yes, do you
Very
want to
good.
go for a wee before you give me your opinions?
Well,
No,
you
no,
go
we'll
for a
finish
wee,
this, actually.
Liam, and I'll. Oh, okay. I could have given my opinion, but okay.
Well, I don't want to miss it.
Listen to the edit.
No. How would I listen to this podcast? That'd be stupid.
I actually quite liked the album. I think I liked it because I hated KG so much, and this was just a pleasant change. But yeah, it was a bit monotonous when it tailed off towards the end. But that's a feature of the genre, really, isn't it? The first half of the album was my favourite, as opposed to the second half. You know what I mean.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yanni,
see your points.
Yanni, I want to know how you compare this to the first installment, KG.
I've not listened to the first one apart from when I skimmed over it, because when it got to the last track on this, I was like, I know the riff from something. So I went back and realised that, well, luckily it was the first song, so I didn't have to listen to the whole album. So I don't know, I think, if I remember correctly, I've come away from this enjoying it more, but again, I wouldn't really put this on. I am genuinely annoyed about Supreme Ascendancy, because if that would have had a different drum pattern, I really, really would have loved that song.
I didn't notice a drum pattern, and Supreme Ascendancy is definitely my favourite song on this album.
Well, it would be my favourite as well.
Probably of this week.
It
that
pisses
song is
me
so
off
good. Yeah, I get. As I say, didn't notice the jump pattern. That wasn't a problem to me. So I guess all the other positives that you're alluding to, we're all there.
It.
I think that's one of my. Hey, I think it might be one of my favourite songs of this year so far. I think that's so good. I think that's like a top 10 of this year. For me, I went back and listened to KG. I listened to them all at once, because then if you realise this, but the last song of KG goes into the first song of LW.
Mm-hmm.
So you notice how, if not now, then when starts with music, it's because you can play them one after the other, which is pretty cool. And it made me appreciate KG more, not because LW is bad, but just as a whole package, it just seemed to work a bit more. LW is definitely a lot less kind of heavy throughout, although there is heavy moments definitely, but it's not as heavy.
Definitely a heavier moment.
Doesn't seem as repetitive as KG as well, I thought. I think
I am sort of sick with these microtonal.
I think that's part of the problem.
Sounds very samey.
I think with the microtonal stuff, they tend to play the same kind of riffs.
Yeah.
With different notes, whatever, but it always kind of sounds the same, and it's cool what they're doing with the microtonal stuff. It's the best mix of that Eastern and Western music that I've seen for sure, or heard. Sorry. But yeah, it doesn't. It's made me look forward to what they do next more, I guess. This is
you won't have long to wait.
Yeah, probably not. And it also made me think that it'd be very cool if they, they kind of do like, oh, we released 5 albums in a year. We've done these 2 albums that are basically back to back. If they just said, now, right, every album we release, you can play in a row. Do you like how KG and LW go into each other?
Yeah.
If every album from now just ended and the next one looped in, that'd be pretty cool. Just forever.
What I'd think would be pretty cool is if they went, we're going to leave it for a bit and actually, do something new.
But considering how much they do, though, talented musicians.
There's no denying that, but
maybe they need to sit back and think about what.
Yeah, I mean,
something new.
Kind of once you've heard one song on this album, you've heard them all.
I think that's what makes Supreme Ascendancies kind of stand out so much, is that feels like very different. And I also really like the opener of Not Now Then When, because that also feels very different to the rest of it. And those 2 songs are in a kind of space in my head that I feel like they should go down.
But anyway, let's draw that one to a close so you can go and have a tinkle.
I'll go and have a tinkle. See you in 2.
Now, for the listeners, that will have been seamless, but for us, that was an eternity. How was your piss, Liam?
Are we doing this? Is this recorded? Are we saying this?
100% this is staying in.
I assumed you'd just be in. Have you keep up and you've been saying?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to keep
it. Are you
it.
cutting your bits?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, but it'll be.
I assumed you would stop after. Okay. How was my piss? It was good. It was very clear. It's good. Good time.
Oh, good. Hydrated. Well done.
Pretty hydrated guy. Tends to drink a couple of litres a day.
Talking of piss. Last week we missed a Green Day song called "Here Comes the Shock." I say missed. I think we all did this on purpose.
Yeah.
Um,
We're very lucky.
Actively avoided.
I was telling Yanni in the little interval we had then that I have found a YouTube comment that has perfectly encapsulated
Summed.
the thought I have of this song. Would you like me to give you that now or at the end?
Please. No, right
no,
now.
please, right now.
Okay, so Ryan Minton Drums commented on the YouTube video saying, "I feel like this is a Nickelodeon show theme song." And
Okay.
oh my god, listen to it again. And it
No.
is well, no, never listen to it again. But it is absolutely bang on. Or I think someone else also mentioned it being like a song in the background of a Scooby-Doo chase.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
I
absolutely right.
agree with that one.
I think all
yeah.
Green Day's out there.
I somehow lasted the duration
Could
of the song,
be, yeah.
and I'm never ever gonna listen to it again.
Oh,
Yeah, I
glowing review.
think we're better off leaving that one there. I think
I want
you
to
could-
say it wasn't as
Okay.
bad as I
Oh,
expected.
Liam.
From 2021 Green Day, it wasn't as bad as I expected. The
To be
lyrics
fair-
in that were really bad, but musically it was very standard Green. What I think of as Green Day. I don't have very high expectations anyway.
Yeah, to be fair, I've never liked Green Day, even when people
Yeah.
claim them to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I
I've
do
never
like,
liked them.
or did like a couple of Green Day songs from American Idiot and that album. I mean, and then the one after that with like 21 Guns on. A couple of songs I like there. But yeah, this song is it's a shocker.
Really bad.
Um,
Talking of
So-
American Idiots. What's next, Cal?
What's next is
You're the
Australian
American Idiot,
band.
I think, in that joke. I think that's what I was
I'm pretty sure these are Australian, so I have no idea where you're going with
hoping
that.
something would come.
Flying Colours
Yeah, I
have
didn't.
released an album, Fantasy Country. I nearly said county because I've spelled it wrong.
Country.
I saw this on Facebook. I'm in a ride like fan group, and they're a shoegaze band. So
Ooh.
someone said it was a shoegaze album. It was all right. Nothing really stood out too much. My two favourites were probably Big Mess and this one. I don't think I gave
Which
it
one?
enough of a go. Haha. Don't think I gave it enough of a go. It was kind of on in the background. I'd put it on again because I did enjoy it, but I mean, it didn't,
Didn't change your
didn't
eyes.
change my day, change my world.
Did it offend you?
It didn't
Or not?
offend me, not like Green Day
I'm
did.
glad. I
Tend
only
to offend.
well, I'm not gonna lie to you. These two things here, these two ones, Green Day and Flying Colours, they like at the top
Yeah.
before we
Mhm.
started recording this
Separate.
because completely did not see these until you said to hit record. So I've been listening to them in the background. The only track I've listened to from the Flying Colours album is Good Times, and I don't mind that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's how I feel about the whole album. I don't mind it. It's nothing amazing. It's good though.
Yeah, don't know. It's difficult to stand out in shoegaze,
Yeah, I agree.
really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unless you incorporate other sort of styles in at this point now, anyway, because it's all been done, isn't it? So, Liam, did you listen to this or not?
No, I just listened to literally 2 seconds of it, and it was exactly what I expected
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Fair point.
from what you were saying. Yeah,
Liam,
Fair point.
Yanni.
you're a beautiful human, and when you walk, it's a thing of beauty.
That's true.
So
Thank you
speak.
for speaking the truth. I think you're alluding to
You've already done it.
this track, and yeah, but every time it's a winner.
Double
isn't it? You know what
dab.
I mean? Double dab. Wet that page. So Marianne Faithfull and Warren Ellis, same Warren Ellis of Carnage from
Yep.
Nick Cave and Warren Ellis.
Yep.
Released a song called "She Walks in Beauty." Now this is it's all spoken word, isn't it?
Yep, didn't know that until I put it on.
Yeah, very interesting. And I'm assuming Warren Ellis did the music. I actually quite liked it. I had many thoughts while listening to it of what I wanted it to do next. A lot. And I thought, you should do this with the piano, or this should happen. It felt like a very good starter song if you're like a musician to kind of add stuff to. And then it just kind of ended.
It was very very quick, wasn't it? Like only 2 minutes.
Very quick. It feels like it should be like the 6th song in an album, so it's a bit weird. Is this like a first or what? Is this just a random track they've done, or?
I'm not
Any
100% sure. I think it's from an album that they're doing together, but I could have made that up. I don't really know.
I've never heard of. Well, I feel like I've heard of Marianne Faithfull, but I've never heard of Warren Ellis before this week.
Well, Warren Ellis is in Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Like,
Oh, he's in back. He's one of the bad seeds.
Yeah. He does.
Oh, okay.
He has done other collaborations.
He's a terrible seed.
With just Nick Cave. He's the one, Jan. You know when I've done that, showed you the Austin City Limit videos where he
The
starts.
tiny guitar.
Yeah, and starts playing violin midway through, and he just seems like an absolute fucking nutcase.
Yeah.
Mad talented. Yeah. So I think he's obviously done the composition on this.
It's a nice
Yeah,
song.
my thoughts were that not something I'd listened to, but the soundscape was beautiful.
Keywords. Oh.
Soundscape. What a. Do you know what, Yanni? Thumbs up for you,
Go on.
mate. Thumbs up. If I could give you a
where?
gold sticker, I would.
Yes,
People.
I really, really enjoyed the music, but yeah, spoken word doesn't really do anything for me. Again, sounds like a soundtrack, but
I think that's just Warren
the
Ellis'
score.
style in it.
It must be
Probably because of
that's what he keeps on doing.
Probably because of the strings, I can imagine.
Yeah, they do tend to have like a more cinematic effect, don't they? When they're being
Strunged.
Next up, we have Ben Howard, still failing to excite with Far Out and Folly's Fixture.
Yes.
I want to say.
There was.
Go on.
Well,
No, go on, Yanni.
no, you go.
No, please.
I'll
I'm not gonna
go.
speak.
Far Out was probably the most interesting of the releases so far. However, that is not a
There
compliment.
was 2 songs. Okay.
Yeah. I quite liked Folly's Fixtures too, but they're just pretty shit in the grand scheme of things, aren't they?
Yeah, I would say I've noticed both of these had weird timings. I think, or at least what I was doing was kind of weird. Folly's Fixture was standard for the other 2 that came out so far, both of which Crowhurst's Meme and What a Day or something like that.
Yeah,
something like that. Far Out I quite liked the first time around. I was like, oh, this is really quite a bit more interesting. This is a bit more old Ben Howard. I quite like it. I quite like the constant, like there's no chorus to it, but I quite like the constant. Well, I don't know if there's anything classed as a chorus, but the constant lyrics and what have you.
Constant.
If that makes sense. Second time round, I thought, no, this is pretty boring actually. This isn't quite as interesting as I thought. But of everything so far, it's definitely been the most interesting thing.
Well, I didn't realise there were 2 songs because I'm an idiot. So before the recording of this, I listened to Folly's Fixture, and I've just put Wasted Potential.
Yep.
I'm
sad for you that you listened to that one first.
I've actually put I want like a club beat behind it.
Yeah, see,
It sounds like it could be a good remix.
there was a nice synth sound that was in it,
Yeah,
and just
it really
did not lead on that. You know what I mean? It was just there.
yeah, it doesn't go anywhere, which is the problem with all these songs. But yeah, I would really actually would like to see if there was going to be a remix of that particular song, because
Yeah,
it would be really good if it was like
I agree with that actually.
In
It
the
almost sounds like that's in the background.
yeah, but it's not, is it? And that's annoying.
Yeah.
This is going to be a long album, by the way. But yeah, Far Out, only just listened to just then as you were speaking, and I kind of like that, but I have a feeling that again, because it doesn't go anywhere, having skimmed through it, that I'm going to hate it the second time around. So
The difference.
Ben,
Go on.
do better.
The difference
That's all I
of
wanted to say there.
Far Out is, although it doesn't go anywhere, it at least keeps going. If that makes sense. There's stuff throughout, whereas some of these songs just sound like empty soundscapes.
Oh, you're copying my way.
Shapes, soundscapes, and shapes, ovals maybe. New track from Stephen Fretwell, and the song is called Oval. Can't tell me about Stephen Fretwell.
Did he do the Gavin Stacey theme?
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean?
What?
The Kevin's... Sorry?
Is Stephen Fretwell not sing Run, which was the Gavin and Stacey theme song? Is that
Did
not
he
him?
actually? He did.
Well, yes,
Did
I
he?
fuck
He
off.
sung.
Thank you.
He sung "Run."
You said the
That's for
Kevin
sure.
Spacey thing.
Gavin
he
and
did not.
Stacey.
Oh, I wish
We
the
know
Kevin
you
Spacey...
love Kevin Spacey.
What
we
did
know
you
you've
think
still
he
got a
said,
post
Yanni?
of
We were
um,
both shocked.
Gavin
at
and
each other.
Stacey.
Oh, we said Kevin Spacey. I was so confused.
We don't mention that name.
Well,
Not anymore.
Oh, we've done it quite a bit then.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not really for me. This song, pretty boring.
Yeah, same. Did not like this. Next one.
Do you know he did
Um,
something? He played bass for Last Shadow Puppets on the first album, I think.
Well, I never.
I did not know that.
There you go. Little fact for you. Pretty boring. He's got an alright voice. It was alright.
Yes. Yes. Wow. I'm just so filled with life. Come join me in life by Trampoline. Spoken word again.
No spoken
I-
word, yeah.
Don't get this obsession with spoken word songs. It's not for me really.
This is
I like the
very
music, but-
spoken word. Though. Like a lot of bands lately are doing that Sprackgesang thing, which is a kind of mix of spoken word and singing.
Oh,
but
he
this-
knows the name of it this week.
I know the lingo, but this one is literally like a poem, isn't it?
Yeah,
it,
well,
it reminded me of
Yeah.
the beginning of the song from the beginning of Train. The beginning of Trainspotting when Renton's talking about choose life, choose a job, choose. What was he
Yeah.
saying?
Well, Jack Jones, the lead singer of Trampoline, is also a poet. So quite a few of their tracks are spoken word poems.
Makes sense now, doesn't it?
Obviously, this is
That
one
does
of
make
them.
sense.
I thought the message of the song was as nice, like it was just like live your life and do what you want.
Mhm.
But I thought in times it was a bit stereotypical of that message. But
Bit on the
um,
nose.
yeah,
Bit wet.
yeah, a little bit. But I thought it was enjoyable. I mean, I don't think you've ever listened to Trampoline before, have you boys?
Welsh, aren't they?
Can't
Where
say
are they
I
from? They're from Swansea or something like that.
They are from Swansea. Yeah.
Ah, bingo.
Wales.
I quite liked it. It reminded me of like the beginning of Trainspotting, or like it could be on like This Is England. It's that kind of time.
Yeah, I kind of get that. If you like
Late
this
80s.
spoken word style of his, listen to Artwork of Youth, which is on their album Swansea to Hornsey or whatever that's called. That's quite a funny poem.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Talking of, I can't think of anything. Remy Wolf,
Nope.
her song "Photo ID," new version this week with Dominic Fike on. I think that's how this has worked. I think he's joined in and added himself into it.
Yep.
What do you think of this one?
It was a good pop song.
Yep.
Mm.
I think it would have been better to release this more towards the summer.
Well, the
Um,
song was released last year. I don't know when it was released,
Oh.
but Dominic Fike
Oh.
has just come
Okay.
on it. But
right.
why does the singer sound like she's about 7?
That's probably why she needs photo ID.
Oh, what a double act.
That was good.
I wasn't really mad on the Dominic Fike edition, but I didn't know the song without him, so like that's I get that's a bit of a pointless comment, but I did quite like the song in general.
Yeah,
No, the song was called Photo ID, not in general.
that's one of her other tracks. I think.
Fucking hell.
I really quite enjoy it. I thought it was quite funky. The
Mm.
vocal melody, where's that from?
Photo ID.
Remy Wolf.
Remy Wolf.
No, it sounds like something else. I can't think what it is. Something from like the 80s. That
Oh,
particular,
since you brought it up.
that particular line.
Oh well, I don't know about that, but the guitar in the background reminded me of "Senorita" by Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Actually, it does. Is that kind of
I was gonna
flamenco
say,
style?
Listen to it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I quite liked it. I thought it was quite funky. It'd be a good like Prees song.
100%.
I think Dominic Fike's edition was fine. Yeah, it kind
Having
of
not
fit
listened
in.
to the original, I don't know if it's a bonus or not.
I guess that's I don't know if it's a bonus or not, but I think if it came out like that, that would seem fine. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't.
Mm.
But yeah, quite a funky little tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell you what, if you go into a club with some form of ID, sometimes they charge you. So you might have to pay your way in,
Pay.
which can be a bit of a pain if you don't have a lot of money. St. Vincent, everyone.
St. Vincent has released new song Pay Away in Pain today, about 4 hours ago. Personally, I love St. Vincent. I think she's great, very interesting artist, and I really like the aesthetic and the sound this album seems to be heading in, because it sounds enough like St. Vincent to, stay true to her as an artist, but it also seems to add new influence and new direction to keep it interesting. And based on this track, I can see this being one of my favourite releases of the year.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, I knew that.
I know. Just stylistically, just very me.
I've just put Scissor Sisters.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
That's what I got from it.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know
fair.
what it was, but really strong Sister Sisters vibes. And before, guys, when I was saying, how do you spell that? I've realised I've not had to spell the word scissor in a long time and really struggled to spell that word, which is a problem.
Wow. Sorry about that.
It's alright. I made it through.
Skizzle.
Yeah. See, I should have done that.
I have liked St. Vincent, I guess, in the past. I've really been massively into it. There's always something that kind of I don't really like about her music. So it's something there. I don't know if it's kind of almost like pretentiousness. Maybe.
I think it might be that.
Not
yeah.
quite that.
Yeah, I've
but
always been put off. Like
something about the vibe.
I feel like I should. It's one of those like artists where you should like them.
Yeah.
And I think that is like, no, don't tell me what I should like.
I guess so.
I think it might be that more than anything that's put me off listening to any more of her stuff.
But yeah, this song seems pretty good. I'd be interested to see what the album's like. And I guess the style, like the single cover at least with her like blonde hair and stuff. I kind of feel a vibe of where this album, it's called Daddy's Home as well. I kind of get the vibe where it's going. It could be interesting, but
Definitely.
We'll see.
And our last one for the week,
Saving the best for last.
in the hot off the press, is Be Sweet by Japanese Breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think?
It's a bop.
Funky as chips
It's a bop.
is what I put.
Yeah.
I have pre-saved this album now. Because
Wow.
of this one song.
That is a very big
I've not bought
compliment
it.
from you.
I've just added it to
Bloody
downloads. But yeah, no, I really like this. It was funky as all hell.
Yeah, very much enjoyed the opening riff.
The bass.
The bass line, yeah,
It's very good.
the bass line is
Bass and drums together.
what
very
is nice. Are you
Everything's-
currently listening to it?
good. Everything's pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. I've never listened to Japanese Breakfast. They've been around for a while, I think. Am I right? in
The
saying
vocals sound quite 80s.
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
I think because of the reverb on the vocals. But the rest of the song doesn't, apart from that. But it just sounds very good. I am very excited to hear the rest of this now when
think
this
it'll be
gets
good. I
released.
think it'll be a good album.
Yeah.
Talking, though, of good albums, we've stopped talking about all the good albums. Because up next, we have an album. And it's burning my eyes. It's so...
I think,
so
you know what that might
bright.
be? Someone's gone and left that bloody spotlight on again, haven't they?
Oh,
I
they
think that's what it is.
They have the bloody album spotlight. Who wants to start?
I don't think any of us wants to go
Can't you
first,
just
do
tell
we?
us and then we'll be done?
Right.
Yeah.
Maximo Park, Nature Always Wins.
It's Maximo in it.
Oh, yeah, whatever. See, I don't think the album is necessarily bad.
Good.
No, I don't think it's necessarily bad. There were no songs that I actively disliked, but it's just very meh. very one-dimensional. Exactly what I thought the album was going to be. I had a problem with the first single that they released. Is it I Don't Know What I'm Doing? Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Really?
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Where the vocals were just so buried in the mix, and it just sounded like it was so poorly produced. And that's kind of a problem I have with the whole record, kind of. But saying that, I would say that was probably my highlight, along with All of Me, despite the fact that is extremely, extremely wet. See, I don't want to just come across like I'm being harsh for the sake of being harsh, but it's just not very good, is it?
Doesn't bring anything new to the table.
No.
Does it?
No.
I think that's the nicest way we can put this.
But I also don't think it really stands out in what's already been done.
I think having never heard Maxïmo Park before, I would assume if you're a fan.
What?
Have you never
No,
heard of
no.
Maxïmo Park?
No, sorry, I've heard of them. I've heard of them. I couldn't tell you a song of theirs.
So you don't know, like, Apply Some Pressure and
Yeah.
Bar
Possibly I've
Velocity?
heard it.
Oh, you've definitely heard Apply
That
Some
riff
Pressure.
rings a bell.
definitely
That
heard
riff rings a bell. But I wouldn't know them from a bloody John Abbott. Yeah, that is.
Okay.
But I would say if you're a fan of Maxïmo Park, I would assume you'd be pretty happy with this album.
Well, it's funny you should
Am I
say
wrong
that
in saying that?
because I would have...
Because
well,
who is a fan of Maxïmo Park in 2021 is more my point.
That's a fair point because I really like first album, Maxïmo Park. Graffiti is one of my favourite, mid-noughties tunes. Books from Boxes from the second album as well is a great song. But since that, all pretty meh. It's kind of what we said about Neighbourhood. It was an indie band who was good in their era, but seems to still be kicking about. So
Not the band, The Neighbourhood. They were never.
Oh, they were never good.
Never good.
No, but I don't know. It's just a bit very generic, very boring.
Yes.
And what's his
Sorry.
obsession with virgins? I just don't get that.
All these virgins of you.
Virgins of you. What's that even mean? But you love saying that.
That's-
There's also one
Don't
song where his
understand
accent becomes very strong.
Yes.
Can't remember which
But
one.
yeah,
it was,
his accent is
title
quite
track.
a
though.
theme in his vocals.
There's just one of them where suddenly he's like extremely Scottish.
He's not Scottish.
He's not
He's
Scottish.
from
What is he?
Middlesbrough.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're from Middlesbrough. Maybe Bolton. I don't know.
I got Bolton vibes because I was like going to say one of these sounds like Adams just started singing.
Oh, yeah, I get that now. You're saying that. For some reason, I defaulted to like they were from like Glasgow or something. I don't know why.
Newcastle-based band. The lead singer is from Stockton-on-Tees, wherever the hell that is. But I think he's a Middlesbrough fan. Yeah, he is a Middlesbrough fan.
That's
which is why I
around
got that.
there, yeah.
Which is why I got Middlesbrough from.
Oh, well, I'm well
Um,
wrong.
I made 3 points. Those were opener was instrumentally alright, but his accent just made him saying the title of the song irritating. That was partly of my making. That was the name of the song. Then I've just commented all these virgins of you. And then the next one was just no more for me, thank you.
So with that, let's wrap up our shortest ever album spotlight segment.
Is it?
With
We've
some
got quite a
ratings.
few
It's
short ones.
almost got to be the shortest. With some ratings, I'm going to kick it off with a very solid 5 out of 10.
Bang,
What?
bang in the middle. Spot on. Yanni, what are you saying?
No, it's not how it works, mate. You're next.
I forget. I hope that sometimes you forget the order of these things. I'm gonna say. I'd say 5 out of 10. It's just bang average, isn't it?
Yeah, that's bang average.
I don't think it's bad. Apart from the mix, the vocal mix isn't great at all. But if you don't care too much about things like that, musically, bang average.
4 out of 10.
Okay. There
Come
we
on
have
then,
it.
get the
And
maths
that's
out.
A
get the
total
maths.
score. Hang on, guys. A total score of 14. Wow. It's written in the stars. Written in the stars. Episode 14. First time I didn't know it. So
Mode.
what are we looking for? The mode now.
I want the mode right now.
It's 5.
I want the median next.
It's 5.
And then I want the mean now.
It's 14 divided by 3, which is what? 4.6 recurring.
And those range fans, which aren't going to be happy at all, like usual, because they're miserable sods, what are they getting?
Getting a measly little 1. A little wiggly wiggly 1 worm. all
I'm
on its own.
laughing at those range fans.
Idiots.
Ha ha ha.
Get a new hobby.
Now, Liam, I've got some good
We've
news for
got
you,
you,
my
Bobby.
friend.
Come on.
You can put your arm away for a few more minutes because we've got a new segment,
Hey!
Oh my god.
and it's called, very cleverly named, Unsigned, Sealed, Delivered.
I'm yours.
So, this is a new segment that we are incorporating every now and then
Shock.
into our
You
ever-changing
weren't expecting
podcast.
that. You need to pay more attention.
It is where we are going to shine a light on some unsigned bands. Sometimes they will get in touch with us. Sometimes it'll be stuff that we listen to off our own backs and talk about them and give them a bit of a boost to our, plethora
But
of
really,
followers that we have.
Get in touch with us is the main takeaway
Yeah.
from this.
Yes.
If
Funny
you're an up-and-coming band or, I don't know, you just want to get out there a bit more, then email us. It's
Fools on a Hill.
plastered everywhere.
Fools on a Hill podcast at outlook.com, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is the
very
one.
classy. Or send us a message on
But it is,
Twitters or whatever.
yes, all of those places are very nice places to see us. Yeah, we've been sent one already.
We have.
The first band on this new segment, the Pretty Visitors.
Good start.
He's messed that up.
Good bit of promo for them, getting their name wrong.
It is, yeah.
No prize, you can guess what
Oh,
that means.
we could have just cut that out, but not anymore. The Pretty Visitors with the track Western Skies,
Mm-hmm.
which is out March 12th, I
Yeah.
believe.
When will that be in
Um,
comparison to when this episode's out?
On
4
Friday.
Very good question.
You
4
listen to
days
this on
after or
Monday, it'll be out on Friday.
So we've been lucky enough to get sent this early, obviously, to listen to it along with the press release. So I'm going to just go through them, and this is what we'll do moving forward. If we ever get more bands, we'll just give you a quick run through of them.
Tell me about them, Yanni.
Um,
Tell me more.
well, I mean, if you shut up, I will get to that point, Liam. Band of 4. I'm not going to name them all. From the South Coast in the UK.
Ooh,
Um,
exotic.
They've had headlines set at Icebreaker Festival in Portsmouth, a live performance on BBC Radio Kent, and that looks good. A debut single, Mystery Woman, receiving some airtime on the Chris Moyle show,
Ooh.
Radio X,
Wow. I would like
this
to
morning.
like to retract my earlier statements about Radio X being shite.
Can't wait to see the Pretty Visitors at Neighbourhood Weekender.
Is that okay? As with okay, with with a lot of bands, COVID-19 has shafted their plans.
Like Paul McCartney.
Sorry,
Like Paul McCartney.
It hit Paul the worst.
Oh.
I've heard.
it really did. It hit him.
He's
But
struggling.
you know what? It's grown fists at this point, COVID, and it's beautiful Macca. They've been played on various radio stations. There's a lot of stuff that is included in this press release, which I'm going to skim over.
Come on.
If I
please.
haven't mentioned, the track is Western Skies, and let's just go through what they've got to say about it. So, the song developed from a place of frustration and helplessness in small towns where we live, which for a lot of newer bands, escapism is always a big thing to write about, I think. It's always an easy thing because you're always stuck in somewhere you don't want to be
Yeah.
half the time, looking for a way out.
Big up Real and Clandid.
Exactly. Connor, one of the members, had an eventful day and felt like he was walking around in something like the Village Green Preservation Society, and felt the need to write about small town life, which I'm gonna say he does a very good job of.
Yeah,
Good
very
snapshot.
much
The
so.
lyrics in this song are very good. I've used the word poignant.
Oh,
Very good word.
That's a
Very
Thank
good
you.
word.
DJ word. That's a good one.
You've had the synonyms out this week.
That's a radioactive DJ word.
I kind of had to look at how to spell that. I really like the
It's a good spell
the
word.
vocals on this, along with the harmonies in the chorus. They're very strong throughout. If you like your indie music, you're gonna like this. They've made comparisons to Oasis, I believe, in this, which I can kind of see.
Choruses, I can see.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, what did you think, please?
It takes me
Right now.
back to a time. The bands that we always talk about that we feel like they, mid-noughties, and they've come back with the same style. Those bands, you know what I'm talking about, that mid-noughties band. It takes me back to that time, and it's not a bad thing because I'd like for that to come back in a way that would be pretty cool to hear that kind of music back around again. And for those bands to have not all turned shit. So it's nice to hear a modern version of that good time, if that makes sense. As you said, lyrically, it's very good lyrically. Thought it was the chorus was interesting in comparison to the verses. Kind of a straightforward chorus, if that makes sense. I think it starts with the chorus, if I'm right in saying
Sounds. Yep, it does.
that. And then the verses are very well written, and the way they're delivered are very good as well. It's a very good song.
Yes,
Definitely.
it is. The juxtaposition, there's the word, of the verse to the chorus is like you say, the chorus is very simplistic. I think that's where the Oasis comparison is more drawn in, perhaps. But then the verse, because it's the opposite of that. Very descriptive, is very good. Worth mentioning, because you'll know some of these bands. This was recorded at East Coast Studios in London. One of our favourite artists, Youngblood, recorded there. The Snuts, Mumford & Sons, Mark Ronson, Rita Ora, of all people, naughty,
Wow,
shouldn't be
very
going out and having
naughty.
parties, and Skepta, who, as we all know, can't be cancelled.
Rita
So-
Ora, though, she's been kicked off the Masked Singer. Naughty.
Has she
Wow.
actually?
Yeah.
God.
OT Mabute.
Wow.
That name.
I'll be
It's on
continuing
instead.
not to watch that.
Yeah, same.
It's not worth a
Before you
watch.
wrap it up, Jan,
I'm
I'd
not.
like to talk about it, please.
Oh, please.
I wasn't going to
Please.
wrap it up, but please, if you want to make that assumption.
If you have to join in, Callum, go on.
Well, to be honest, I don't really need to because I mirror all your thoughts. But yeah, I like the way how it mixes up being a straight up indie banger with well crafted elements entwined. Like,
Oh.
I think the way you were trying to say about it being mid noughties vibe, I get that, but I also think it kind of incorporates styles a bit like Yard Act, kind of in the vocal delivery,
Yeah, I got that.
which is it's a nice amalgamation. And I don't know, it felt fresh to me
It did.
with that. I don't know.
Fresh but familiar.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. It's bringing those old styles and bringing it with modern elements.
doing
It
something
works really
Like
well.
when
more
Liam has a
exciting with
shave.
it.
Fresh but familiar.
Exactly. Fresh but familiar. some of the rhyming was really good when they rhymed empty with erected. Although those words don't rhyme at all, it worked really well. And I just like the word. Like to see the word erect.
It does
in
like
there,
the word
you know?
erected. Yeah.
It's good to see some erection within song lyrics. Okay.
So yeah,
I think you've heard enough from us whittering on about the song.
we've heard enough from you, Liam. That's what I'm trying to stop. That was the Pretty Visitors with song Western Skies. It's not been played. I don't know why I'm speaking as if we just played it. But as of the time of this being out, like we said, it'll be out Friday on all the sources.
Yeah.
HP, Heinz,
Go
Apple
listen to
Music, Spotify. Just go listen to them and listen to their other stuff. But we have not, so we cannot tell you
No.
what that might sound like. But
Maybe go and
I might.
pre-save it. Have it ready for Friday. I think it's worth
If
it.
you do
come
go
on.
and listen to them and you
Let's
like
do
it, tell them we sent you.
Yes, do that. So yeah, that's that section. Now, Liam,
Get your arm
get
out.
that arm out.
Every week. I'm in so much
Get it out.
pain. So much pain.
The needle, we're under it.
And that is it for Under the Needle.
Yeah.
Again, there is nothing.
No, hang on.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Hang on. I did get a
Frank
record
Marvin.
this week.
Why have you not put it on Notion, you slacker?
What you call him, a slag? You slag.
Did I actually get it last week? And I've just had you all off this week.
Oh, you've had our pants
week,
right
sorry.
down. Can you tell us what it is, mate?
Is it the Yard Act one?
Are we still recording?
Yes.
Is this thing still on? No, the Yard Act one, delivery is doing me over a bit this week. I'm still waiting on one thing to arrive, so I'm going to cover those hopefully next week. If it's any longer, then I will be upset. But I did get this week, or last week, maybe it should have been last week, who knows. Cheek Face's album, Emphatically No, on nice tri-colour, primary colour vinyl.
All grey.
It's all grey, 3 different shades of grey. I covered it
Nice.
on episode, I'm going to say 4. Let's say 4, why not? Episode 4 of this podcast. And I will, there'll be a video up, I guess. Just decided,
Well, there, though.
just decided now. No, we might
Because
as well.
I think we teased you last week, and I'm very sorry. But
Very-
Liam didn't want to dance. I
I
know.
didn't- yeah.
Hate him. Hate Liam.
Well, this is what I've realised, that I probably should have just talked about this album last week. But I think I was saving it for the other records to do them all at once, but they don't need to be all at once. So I'm going to do Cheek Face this week. I'll show you Cheek Face this week.
Well, Cal, shall I do my thing or not?
No,
Shall I not mention our
you're not
thing?
invited.
Liam, I'm not asking you.
If a video is happening anyway, you can do.
Good.
I will have a record next week if you want to wait till that, but I don't really see the point in doing
Well,
it.
if Liam's going to do a video, then
I might as well
Yeah,
do
go
one
on.
to keep everyone busy this week.
yeah. Since you missed out, I don't know why I'm getting it out to show you guys.
Are you plugging your own shit now?
Yep.
Well, this
No
is
one
why.
agreed to this.
I
I've
I
not
have.
signed off on this.
Cal, please.
I've not
I
signed
have.
off.
Liam, you're drawing a lot more attention to it than what there
Go
needs to be. Man and Cal's band Bluff. We've released a cassette of our songs juxtaposed. It's our most played ones. We thought, why not? On a purple cassette, which you'll all see on the video. Which I'll go into more detail on that. But that's all that needs to be said on that. We felt a bit awkward about plugging it because it is our own thing. and
However,
we said we'd stray away from that.
If you do want to buy it, the link will be in the description.
You should,
Yeah.
you
The
should
YouTube
have
video.
sent me mine by now, and I haven't paid for, but you should send it to me, and then I could do it,
When-
and then it's not as bad.
you know what?
Pay
In
for it, and
exchange
then
for some money, I will.
Yay. That's a good point. Good point, well made. I can't wait to get my issue 20 of 20 of that cassette, which I am.
Are you getting 420?
No, I decided
we
against
can't.
420.
Someone's already hot 420.
Yeah, I thought 420 was pretty funny, because you know, smoke weed every day, and all that. But at the same time, I thought 2020 is pretty cool. It signifies a big year in the world, and also
It does.
it's the last
And it
one.
also signifies the end of Liam talking.
It does.
We're wrapping this week's podcast up with an announcement about next week's album spotlight, which Kings of Leon, when you see yourself.
Come
that will
You'll be very upset.
can't wait to be disappointed.
Yeah, I think we're all sort of at a neutral
Yeah.
level of expectation for
Pretty
this.
neutral.
Although I did message you guys during the week to say 100,000 people has been my jam this week, but the rest of them still meh to me. So yeah, who knows? We will by next week.
We've all
Um,
decided we're gonna judge it as a single entity and not based on previous albums.
Have we?
Have we?
Yes, we are. We are doing that.
Will be possible.
We are doing
Yeah, I
no, I
don't.
think it's part
I
of.
think
You've
we
got
need
compare
to-
it things.
that. Nah.
Yeah, we've got to bear that in mind. But yes, so that'll be it. If you get the chance to listen to it as well, so you can form your own opinion, because although we like to think we are the be all and end all of your opinions, we realise that we're not. Liam might not realise that, but
No,
you
I
might
am.
know that.
Sorry, Yanni, I thought you were just talking about you and Colin. No, I am.
See,
I am.
you should prove the point. You can find us in Liverpool, because that's where me and Liam live, and in Chester, for Cal. His address is on Instagram and Facebook at Fools on the Hill Podcast.
Yeah.
Twitter is at Fools on the Hill Pod. YouTube, Fools on the Hill. We're number one there. You know the
We're
job by
number
now.
one on YouTube.
Like and subscribe. Ding that dong. And I've had a fun time. Cal's had a fun time. Liam,
Who knows?
who knows?
Tune in
Liam's just
next
happy to have
week.
some company.
Tune in next week to find out if I had a good time.
Tune in.
And there is a monthly playlist for February is out now. A lot of good
Some
artists.
bangers on there.
All our favourite songs of February, including Yanni. What was included?
I have no idea.
What's
to
it
be honest.
including?
No idea.
You said it every week, and this is the right week to say it.
I don't know.
It's including our hits from Valentine's Day, a throw in the middle there as well. Because
Okay.
it was the middle of the month. Interestingly enough, the 14th day. And on that note,
I've just got
go on.
I've just got a little thing to say.
You're stealing mine.
Yeah.
Well,
Go
because
on.
you were slacking and you haven't done your job.
You could have shared, but go on.
Beverly Hills. That's where I want to.
You want to what? Thank you everybody for listening. On that note, we're going to close this 14th instalment of the Falls and Hell podcast. We love you all, but not you. See you next week.
Fucking hell, how full was Liam's bladder? Fucking hell.
He does do long peas. To be fair to him, he does piss heavily.
You excited for the KSI and Youngblood song?
I'd rather stab my own ears.